Hey guys, it's Bang for Buck PC Gaming here. Quite a big news week for AMD in particular, so I thought I'd share my thoughts on some of the latest news. So AMD have released Ryzen, as we currently thought was going to be called Zen, is their new CPU, the 8-core 16-thread, which is basically going to be doing battle against Intel's i7 Extreme Edition CPU. So it's going to be very interesting. So far it's actually performed very well. Although both CPUs are at stock, and we still don't know what Ryzen's final boost clock or turbo mode is going to be, so I personally think it will come down to price and overclocking ability, how well this CPU does. Right now, 6900K and above, you're looking at $1,100 US, or over here around £1,000 in the UK. So very expensive pieces of hardware. So it's not going to be for everyone. So if AMD can bring Ryzen down to around £500 for the UK or $600 for the US, then they got a great chance of bringing 8 cores to a lot more people. Now there was an interesting test they did amongst many others, which was the blender test. Now the 6900K completed this test in 36.1 seconds, while the Zen CPU completed it in 35.57 seconds. So AMD have allowed people to do the same test. They've made this download available on their website. So I went ahead and did it myself. So this is the same test they did on the presentation. Now my Intel i7 5960X, let me just quickly load up CPU Z so you can have a quick look at my configuration. I've currently got an Intel i7 5960X, which is currently overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz, as you can see here, and I'm using an X99A Gaming 7 from MSI, and I'm using 32 gigabytes of DDR4 running at 2666 megahertz in quad channel. So that was another surprising thing. Apparently Ryzen will not be using quad channel but opting to go for dual channel. So that was an interesting move by AMD. I thought they would go for the quad channel support. Anyway, I'm going to run this same test now. Just to make you aware, I am recording at the moment, so the results I'm showing now won't be, what it would be like under normal circumstances, but I'll show you the test first and then I'll show you what I would really get on the normal general circumstances. So this is the test they ran at the presentation. And this is what my Intel i7 5960X at 4.5 gigahertz can do. So as you guys can see, I completed this test while recording at 30.35 seconds. That's already beating out the 6900K and the new Ryzen CPU. So as promised, I would do the test again off camera without recording, so just to prove my final and normal score. So bear with me. So here are my results without recording. As you can see, I scored 28.81 seconds to complete this rendering test on my Intel i7 5960X overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. So over 7 seconds faster than the 6900K and the Ryzen CPU at stock. So it will come down to just how well this new Ryzen CPU can overclock, and obviously the price as well. I believe it will be over $500 for the high-end Ryzen, and when you combine that with a brand new AM4 motherboard, then you're probably looking at $700 to $750 for that platform. So all of the people that were waiting for Zen, you better have deep pockets, or you better have prepared for it in advance, because this isn't going to be something everyone can just run out and grab. So anyway, I did want to do something else in this video, and that was compare my R9 290 in 4K versus my Nvidia GTX 1080. Now this isn't meant to be a fair test in any way, and in all fairness, there isn't actually a competitor from AMD that can match the GTX 1080 anyway, so fair test wouldn't be possible regardless. But this is just to see how well a 2013 GPU does against a 2016 GPU does in 4K. So I'll be using Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I'll also be using the latest Hitman. So slightly AMD and a slightly Nvidia based bias game in both ways. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see just how far 4K has come to be achievable in the last 3 years.